Alrighty, hey there everyone, it's your boy Manny here. So I made a quick tutorial a while back about run canceling, and I decided I wanted to make some more tutorials for fighting games. So here I am. I'm going to be doing a whole playlist of terminology, terminology and tutorials on fighting games. I'm going to be doing it on Mortal Kombat X because this is my favorite fighting game. So I'm going to be teaching y'all here. I want to let you know that the terminology that I'm going to be using is universal. Frames, frame data, and the terminology I'm using applies to all fighting games, not just Mortal Kombat. Like I said, I'm just using this game because it's my favorite fighting game. So I want to start off by saying that you can take this to other fighting games like Street Fighter, Tekken, blah blah blah. I don't play those games, but for the most part, all of this is going to be the same. Without further ado, let's get started. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to assume that y'all know that y'all did the tutorial in the game, that y'all did. Basic attacks. You learn how to do combos, meter burning, highs, mids, and lows. I'm gonna assume that you know that. If you don't and you want me to do videos on that, let me know. I have no problem doing that. But so I'm gonna assume that you know that. So the first thing I want to talk about here is frame data. You can see in the right, there's 6 little categories of frame data there. And I'm going to be doing videos on each. I'm not going to do it all in one video because I feel like that would just take me an hour or more to explain all of this. So I'm just going to be doing short, concise videos, no bullshit, get to the point. So here I am. We're going to be starting with startup frames. So if you don't know this, fighting games run at 60 frames per second. Okay, so keep that in mind. This is why we have frame data. This is why we refer to frame data when we do moves, combos, all that shit, specials. So yeah, fighting games run at 60 frames per second, and this is why we have frame data for moves. So basically, startup frames. This is where we're going to start. If you look at this string, it says that it has 7 startup frames. So basically, what that means is if you throw this move out or string, it is going to take 7 frames till it hits, or it's going to take 7 frames for it to come out. Okay, so it takes a whole 7/60ths of a second to come out. Okay, according to the 60 frames per second that the fighting games run at. So it's important to know this because if you throw out something and somebody else throws out something that's faster than that, their move is going to beat your move. And that can lead to punishes, combos, hit confirming to a combo. I will explain that terminology later, but that's why it's important. So I'm going to show you a quick example. Okay, I'm going to show you an example of startup frames involving your opponent. So let's say let's take Scorpion standing 3 for an example. Okay. This move here, you see in the right, startup frames, it's 7 frames. It says 7 frame startup. So, this means it's going to take 7 frames to come out, hit somebody, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, so say I'm going to be throwing that up, and I'm going to use my opponent here. I'm going to record Sub-Zero's moves. So we know that move, it has 7 frames. It has 7 frame startup. So when you're looking at an opponent's move or you're wondering what can beat what, it's important to know, just look at this. So Sub-Zero's 1-1. Okay, let's take an example of this. Well, his standing 1. When you're looking at the strings, you want to look at the first button that comes out because it's this. The first, like say we were looking at his 1-1-2, it says 19 frames, but his standing 1 is actually 7 frames. So you want to keep that in mind. Okay, this is not 19 frames because his standing 1 is 7 frames. So say I was going to try to do, I'm just going to give you an example, pretty wild example, but let's say Sub-Zero's like, you know what, I want to do my overhead and smack his asshole into the ground. So if you look at Sub-Zero's overhead, it is 17 frames. This shit is slow, okay? 17/60th of a second. So which one do you think is going to beat what move do you think is going to beat what? Okay, so if you don't know by now, spoiler alert, my move is going to beat his because mine is 7 frames, his is 17. My frames is 10 frames faster than his move, so I'm going to win that trade. Okay, I'm going to show you like a little example. Let me do boom. Sub-Zero's overhead. See right there. Sorry, I'm trying to get the time right. I'm going too fast. Hold on. 1 second. There you go. Okay. We can see that my move is beating his. Because mine is faster. There you go. There you go. There you go. So that's a basic example, okay? And this is important to know because if my move beats his move, I'm gonna go into further detail of this later, but I can essentially hit confirm into a combo, and there's 30%. So it's important to know that, say I see this move go through, and I can go boom. Uh-oh, got you. My move was faster. Boom, 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 boom. Just a quick example. I know it's not the most damage he can get, but that was just a little example of what I could do if I saw my move beat his. And like I said, I'll go into hit confirming later. It's a terminology. That's terminology I'm going to explain later, but that's why it's important. So basically, that's a little basic example. This is why their labbing is important. You can go into the lab, see what moves that you should throw out. You always want to throw out moves, strings that are fast, and preferably mids. If you can find fast mids, that's one thing that you really want to look forward to. You really want to pay attention to if you're learning a character. Okay, like Scorpion's, let's see, his back 1, 2. This is a mid. Now, like I said, you want to look at his back 1. So this isn't 16. This isn't actually 16 startup. It's 11 startup. So it's not super fast, but it's not super slow. I believe the fastest moves in this game are either 7 frames or 6 frames. I don't remember if there's a 6 frame move in here, but if I'm mistaken, I'm sorry. There might be a 6 frame move, but I believe 6 or 7 frames is the fastest moves in the game. There's nothing faster than that. So basically, if somebody wanted to punish, if someone wanted to beat me, they would have to do something that's 10 frames or faster. So this is a good move to throw out because, well, actually, most of the time I do his back 1, 2, 1 because. Like again, I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, but it's very good on block. Just know that, and it's a mid. So this is a good mid string to use. Let me take him off. Let me take him off that because it is. This is a mid. It starts with a mid. They're all mids. They're all mids. So this is one of the strings that's good to use because it's good on block and. It's pretty fast. I mean, 11 frames, so if Scorpion did something that's 10 frames, that would beat me, but yeah, you want to look for fast mids when you're looking at, especially when referring to startup frames, because most of the time it's going to beat other things. It's going to be good on, hopefully good on block, depending on what you do. So yeah, this was my basic video on startup frames. You can go into the lab stuff if you want, see what beats what, and then, go from there. But this is just my basic intro to startup frames. I hope you all understood by the example I showed y'all. Basically, if something's faster than something else, it's going to beat it. You can hit confirm in a combo, punish, do all that good stuff. So yeah, this is my video over startup frames. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helped you a lot. If you have any questions, let me know. This is something that's not very hard to understand. Okay. It's not very hard to understand. So this will start at frames. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. That is the basics of it. Fast things beat slower things. Slow things lose to fast moves and specials. So yeah, I hope you like this video. Like, comment, subscribe, guys, to see more. And I will see you all in the next tutorial video. Later.